Thanks for tuning into Heavy, where we bring you the latest interviews with local, national, and international artists. Today's victim is
Max Cavalera here, singer, songwriter, main screamer in Soulfly. Working on a new record, Totem, and getting ready to get back to Australia in December.
Hell yeah, mate. Looking forward to having you here. How's your day going, buddy?
It's going great, man. Just been talking to Australian press today. I'm excited for Totem. We just got back from Japan, actually.
Oh, nice. We
had a festival there Sunday. We played Download with Mastodon.
How'd that go?
It was great.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
we got to play a couple new songs. It was kind of crazy because it's the first show since COVID.
Okay.
And they weren't really allowed to mosh. They couldn't really mosh or circle pit. All that was forbidden. And they had the mask on still, and they say they cannot even sing. I was like, no, it's impossible to make a show with. It's a Soulfly show without screaming. This cannot happen,
So what, you rip all the masks off? And
I got them screaming. I got them screaming by the end of our set. Yeah,
good man.
We even got everybody jump the fuck up. It was great.
How could you not jump the fuck up, mate? Like, that's fucking.
Yeah, I mean, that's how can you not, right?
Beautiful. So Soulfly released your 12th album, Totem, last week, mate. So how's the early reception been for it?
Oh, really good, man. It's I think it's insane that it's my 12th record. That's like unheard, kind of unheard in this business to just have so many records with one band like that. It's unique. It's cool. I think it's kind of a badge of honor of longevity and fighting for what you believe type thing. And I like Totem for many, many reasons. One of the main reasons it was made by me as a fan for the fans, so it's a bit selfish of me to the way I made this record. I wanted to please myself, but those are like pretty much my main records I've done my whole career. Had the same state of mind of I gotta play what I like, what I believe is in my heart, what I feel it, and Totem is no different. And the reaction's been really, really good. Actually, the reaction's been better than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was. I don't know what I think was going to happen, but I'm kind of surprised at how positive it's been. It's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, wow. And the press release describes the album as brutal, violent, and extreme. Would you agree with that statement?
Yes, it has all those three elements are very present in this record. Although I think it's a bit, there's more than that on the album itself. In general, there's also some new things, especially towards the end of the record. Spirit Animal is like a 10-minute journey song, almost like an epic song. I never written this kind of song before, so to me that was very unique and unusual and exciting. Also, Soulfly 12 had a very kind of The Cure keyboard gothic feeling to it. The rest of the record, especially side A, is very Max Cavalera meat and potatoes, like just in your face. It's a beat down, unmerciful, angry, brutal, energetic, the way we love metal to be. That's, to me, that's how metal is. That's what metal represents. It's got to be a little dangerous. It's got to be a little bit out of control. It's got to be a little bit even dirty, so the recordings and the production has all these elements on this record that I really love. It doesn't sound like a high tech, very polished record, and I like that about it. It kind of sounds a little old, really old and dirty, and old school, even in some parts, and I like that about Totem.
And the songs came about after a back to basics songwriting approach between yourself and your son and drummer Zyon. So can you elaborate on what that back to basics approach was?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of like just the two of us really going at a garage and really creating the bulk of this record. I never had that happen with me and him on a record before. We done records together before, but most of them were kind of created in the studio. Savages and Archangel and the Ritual. This one, we actually used the time that we had with the pandemic. And for a year, I just went and jammed with him. So for a good year, felt like we're like the White Stripes of metal, just the two of us, and it felt really cool. And I never really done a record. Like I said, I never prepared a record like this with just two guys, just me and him. And because we are connected, not just musically and physically, but also spiritually and by blood, we are connected because he's my son. I think that also went into the whole process, and made this connection even deeper. But I think also I got to give a lot of credit to Arthur Risk, the producer. He's a phenomenal producer and kick ass on the solos, man. He did a lot of the solos on the record, and it came out great. And the production is, like I said, like it has a warmed, old school feeling, just exciting. Feels like you're listening to something that came out in the 90s, but it just it's brand new, So it's cool. It's cool to have that kind of record made right now. And like I said, I pretty much wrote the record of what I wanted to hear, Even if nobody liked the record, this is the record I want to make. And that's kind of like when you make a record like this, a lot of times you don't know what's going to happen to this kind of record, because it's kind of a selfish thing that you're doing, you're doing for yourself first. So you're not trying to please anybody else but yourself. And by pleasing yourself, if other people like it and they're on board with you, then great, then it's awesome, and it's a party, Yeah, so I think this record has that kind of like our way or the highway kind of feeling to it, It's cool. It has kind of almost like the spirit of a Motorhead record has, like in many ways, even though musically it's very different from Motorhead. But the spirit of it's very Motorhead,
Long live Lemmy. So you mentioned that Arthur was a producer on there, but you also like helped produce the album yourself, mate. So what are some of the advantages and disadvantages of having someone inside the band as a producer on the album?
Well, advantage that I've been doing it for so long, right? Like I produce a lot of the Soulfly, right? I produce Prophecy, and I produce Dark Ages. I produce Cavalera Conspiracy. So I kind of I use my own experience and wisdom, but also having Arthur as a producer is great, because he can get stuff out of me that doesn't come out naturally. And one of those things was like he says he's gonna wake up the sleeping lion, the sleeping giant, bring back the old, the young Max Cavalera, and that anger and passion comes to the fold in this record because of Arthur. I think with him I was able to transform myself in a subconscious level into kind of like a new version of an old version of me. That's, if that makes sense. And it's cool. It's interesting to see that, because when you have such a long career like mine, which it goes for 3 decades, you know, and there's so much music, you know, we will actually listen to the stuff and thinking it'd be cool if this record has a bit of every single thing of your career, you know, little drops of everything. And it does. It has stuff from black metal days, it has stuff from the death thrash days, it has stuff from tribal groove days, stuff from electronic days, so everything. So in a way, this is probably one of the most complete Soulfly records we ever done, that has everything in one record.
Yeah. You touched on this a little bit before, mate, but like, as with every Soulfly album, Totem has an instrumental track in the form of Soulfly 12. So tell us a bit about that song and the meaning behind it.
So yeah, those songs were created. They were born on the first one as it was an accident, actually. It's kind of a jam session that turned into a song. And I kept doing, you know, on the next record, and it became a trademark. Every record I had to have it, and I started having fun with it and trying to stretch them as much as you can, using as much as the imagination as you can. Every one of them has their own signature and their own vibe, and this one is actually very influenced by kind of 80s gothic music, you know, my love for Sisters of Mercy and Cure and The Mission and Fields of Nephilim. And so it's like distorted bass, clean guitars, very melodic, ambient kind of sounds. It's nice. It's cool. Also, it gives a break on the record. And when you make such a heavy record, if you can put something in the middle like that, that makes the heavier stuff heavier and makes the melodic stuff more melodic. So I think that's what's cool about having this track in this record. It kind of like makes the record more interesting, I think, even for the listener.
Yep, definitely. We spoke about this at the start of the interview, mate, but Soulfly will be coming back to Australia later this year for the Good Things Festival, man. So what can we expect from that run of shows?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be amazing, man. We have Dino coming with us. I know Fear Factory is a big band in Australia. People love Dino, and Australia has not heard Soulfly with Dino yet, and it's a beast. It is kind of it's a mutation of Soulfly. It's a new monster. We became something else with Dino, and it's a very exciting time in our life, because you get to hear the early Soulfly stuff with that crunchy Dino sound on top of it, and then you have us on with it. Zyon is playing his ass off. Mike is doing great. And by the time we hit Australia, we're probably gonna be ready to play more tracks of Totem. So I think it's going to be just a great concert. I cannot wait. I love Australia. I think the fans are total lunatics. You guys are